This is a drive shaft from a Honda S2000. It's from an AP2, the 2004 and up. And this particular one is out of my car that had a problem with vibration under acceleration. And I noticed that as you try to rotate the CV axle, it was binding. And since these are non-serviceable parts, I had to improvise and find a replacement that could be modified to fit the drive shaft. To take these apart, you can see there's two Allen head screws. They're 5mm. This one's been disassembled, but I'll show how it's taken apart. This cover comes off, and it was cleaned out. So normally they'll be completely full of grease in here, and you have to kind of dig around to find this clip. You can see the clip right there. So I'll take my snap ring pliers, grab it, pull off the snap ring. One more thing you have to do is to remove this band. Once you've done that, this whole assembly will slide right off. So the CV joint, which is normally filled with grease, just comes apart. There's a second part, the rear cover with the boot. That can be disengaged, and you have a standard CV joint. As you can see, this one is very well binded. A little bit of an internet search turned up this CVJ045, which is very similar size and shape. This kit comes with a boot very, very similar to the original. Comes with a band, grease, and the joint itself. As you can see, the joint is very, very similar. The height is the same, the width is the same, but what's missing is there's a couple of alignment holes that mate with these pins to keep this aligned, and two threaded 6mm threaded holes that hold the cover on. So those are missing from this joint. If you look at the old and the new, you can see that there's a taper on one side. There's also the inner teeth are cut back on the inside. So that makes it the inside, the part that goes towards the inside of the drive shaft. So the holes are on the other side. So we have to make sure we cut the holes on the right side, the correct side. So what I've done was I took an old CV joint, one of the ones that were binding, and I made these little pegs that can fit right inside those holes to give me an alignment for drilling the 4 holes. But before that, I want to mask off this so I don't get any shavings inside the CV joint itself, and I want to bolt them together so they don't move during the drilling operation. So you can see I've just used some duct tape and a razor blade to mask off the inside of the CV joint so that none of the metal shavings will get inside. So now again, with the tapered part down, I'm going to put my template on top. And then I'm going to bolt the two pieces together. Now that the two pieces are bolted together, I marked on the side that these threaded holes are a number 8 drill, which is used for a M6 threaded hole, and the clearance is about 1/4. It's actually slightly smaller than 1/4, but that seems to be the best drill for this. So now I'm going to drill these two holes to 1/4, these two holes using number 8, and then we'll take it apart. So we're going to start with the number 8 drill in the threaded hole. On the number 8s, you want to go down about 1 inch because you're going to have to thread at least a 1/2 inch down for the number 6 bolt. But on the 1/4 inch, you only need to go down about less than a 1/2 inch because you just need to clear this pin. So the next step is to tap the threaded holes with a M6 by 1 millimeter tap. Okay, now for assembly, we want to take the boot and place it over the axle. Push it down as far as we can. And then take the CV joint itself and pack it with using Redline, the synthetic grease. I'm going to have to do this messy packing job. Once that's on, we put on the snap ring. Sure it clicks on. I'm going to put the cover on. Show you line up the pins. And I'll put the 6 millimeter bolts in, Allen head bolts. Clamp on the boot.